Hello, bonne année, happy new year to everybody, all my best for 2014 and the other ones to come. First class of the year, I'm going to show you how we make some different kind of salads. Very easy, very simple. We're going to work on our knife skills also as we do those. And we'll be making a vinaigrette, a mayonnaise, and also what we call a sauce remoulade. And all those different dressings will be used to season our salad as we go on. So we're going to make our tomato salad now. 2 tomatoes I have here. That's going to be good for 3 people, 3 to 4 people, depending, you know. They're pretty small tomato. They could be a little larger if you want to go for 4 people. But 2 to 3, no problem, it'll work. Tomato, simple vinaigrette, recipe on my channel. So if you didn't watch it already, give it a look so you can see how I make that vinaigrette. I have a nice bath here because what I'm going to do now, I'm going to do what we call émondé. I'm going to remove the skin and the seeds of that, those 2 tomatoes here. And to do that, I need to drop those tomatoes in hot boiling water for 20 seconds max. It's very important. You cannot leave those tomatoes more than 30 seconds. And nothing less than 20 seconds, I will say, into the water. If they don't stay long enough into the water, it's very hard to remove the skin, which is what we want to do. If they stay too long in the water, you're going to cook your tomato and the flesh of it's going to break apart. It's not too good into a salad since we really want to keep those raw. To do that, I'm going to use a paring knife here. I'm going to do a little crust on my tomato, like a very little crust, just like that. I'm going to remove that part here, which you call in French the pédoncule, I think there's a stem. You remove that. Again, a little crust, and you remove the stem here from your tomato. The water is boiling. I'm going to put those tomatoes in, again, 30 seconds, no more. Then straight in my ice bath to stop the cooking process of the tomatoes. 20 seconds. That should be 30 seconds. Tomatoes come out, straight into the ice bath. In that tomato salad, I'm also going to have some scallion. You could also use some chives if you want. So here's my scallion, and I'm going to émincer it. I'm going to cut it in very, very small pieces here. When I'm cutting my scallion, the movement of the knife, you know, it's rocking on the tip of its blade here, this way. And make sure I cut and slice into the scallion of the herb. You don't want to crush on your herb, you know. I wouldn't cut it this way because you're crushing the fiber and you're losing some of the texture, you're losing at one point some of the color and some of the flavor, because if you crush a lot of it, a lot of the juice is coming out of it and staying behind when you don't want that. So best way, cut into it. Also, you'll be able to keep those for a longer time. If you're making prep in a restaurant and you keep them a couple of days, well, if you had chopped them up, they're going to brown very quick. If you had cut them nicely and store them well, they could stay for a couple of days. See, I'm slicing into it, cut into the scallion. And scallion is not an herb really that you chop. You slice into it again. Voilà. See the little stem? We don't use. So now we're going to peel the tomatoes. Take it like that. And the skin should come right off this way. Try not to cut too much into the tomato, you know, so it looks nice for presentation. You see, you just peel it towards you. You want to make sure you're using the tip of the knife to grab the skin and just peel it off. So after we skin the tomato, we're going to sieve it. I'm going to quarter the tomato this way and remove the seeds from it. To do that, it's very easy. Holding the tomato, and I'm going to cut, trying to reach to the flesh of the tomato here and just keep cutting straight to just remove the seed. And you end up with a nice little petal of tomato. Again. And you do that to all the tomatoes, making sure that no seed stays on. So now I have my tomato émondé and that we made a nice little petal here. If you want to keep the seeds and the flesh that we remove here, do so. You know, there's no problem with that at all. I removed it, it's part of the recipe. There's nothing wrong with all those tomato scraps here. I'm actually going to use those for another recipe. I will never put that away. Huh? But if you like them, just use them. Up to you here. So my tomato, my scallion, my vinaigrette. My vinaigrette has been sitting here for a little time now. I want to make sure before I use it that I stir it. Make sure you stir it well to mix again the vinegar but separated a bit from your oil. If not, if you just take some and put it on your vegetable to season them, you're just going to grab the oil that will rise to the top and the vinegar is on the bottom. So it won't really have any nice flavor. You want to make sure that that vinaigrette is well stirred before adding it to anything. Okay? Here. Now I'm going to put the scallion here with it. My tomato. I'm going to mix that around like that. To that, a little bit of salt, of course, and pepper. What will happen here after I add the salt is going to drain a little bit of the moisture out of the tomato. It's what we call dégorger. It's going to extract a little bit of that water, tomato water, which is going to mix with the vinaigrette too and give it a nice flavor. So don't forget to do that little salt into it. Mix all that well. And that, I will let that set a good 30 minutes to an hour before I eat it to make sure that all the flavor gets together. Earlier, in the vinaigrette, I had some garlic that I crushed. And I removed it before I add the oil. I kept that garlic that I have right here. And I'm actually keep a little piece of it, take a little piece of it here, but I'm going to chop very, very, very finely. And I'm going to add it to those tomatoes. Who doesn't like a little garlic on their tomato? I do. Love garlic. Make sure it's very fine. You don't want someone to bite on a big piece of garlic because at that point it's not that good anymore. It's too strong. I'm not going to put it all actually. Yeah, just that will be enough. Mix that. That is your tomato salad here. So that salad I'm going to keep it aside and it's going to be used in my assiette de crudité. Thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed and let me know if you did.